All right, ready to go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm the founder and CEO of GAR Capital. It is Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. Glad to be with you this morning. Let's go ahead and get started. Getting some news coming around. I think Tesla's starting to move. I don't know if that deliveries number came out. So keeping an eye, nothing yet. Okay, so Dow futures are down 58 points. The S&P 500 is down about 0.18. NASDAQ was above 20,000 on the future side and then rejected that level. So I'm keeping my eye on that level right now. Russell is down 0.54%. So some additional weakness really in the small caps today. 10-year treasury yields are up 3.802%. The dollar is up as well, 101.50. The VIX is up 0.78%. We were above 20 just yesterday, but then it pulled back. So that's a good sign. Crude oil is up, obviously, with the Middle East headlines that are coming out. What's happening in terms of the missile strikes from Iran to Israel. So again, that's going to affect oil markets. Remember, oil stocks were down. Oil market has been sliding. Gas prices falling. This is changing it up a little bit. 71.86 on crude oil. That's up about nearly 3%. Gasoline futures up about 2.12. Gold, interesting, is down 0.73. Let's see. We just got the Tesla number. Let me get that for you. Tesla delivered 462,890 EVs in Q3, missing expectations of 463,300. And there's more coming in here. Model 3 year-over-year deliveries, 439,975, estimated 435,920. Tesla Q3 production, 469,796 vehicles. Estimate was 465,828. So they beat in terms of the deliveries of the Model 3 and in terms of Q3 production. That's the Tesla headline. You can see that it is down about $7, $6 pre-market. Unfortunately, we had that pullback yesterday with the headline. So the premiums were smoked on the calls that I had or have open. But right now we're seeing some weakness. So we're just getting that headline now. I have another one here. It says Tesla deliveries were 463K versus 462K expected, but the shares dip anyway. So I don't know which headline the algorithms are trading by, but there is some weakness this morning in Tesla. Let's go ahead and expand it right quick. We'll go to the 4-hour chart. Yeah, you can see possible double top, 265.58. It did break my alert this week. So again, we had this big candle down. That was from yesterday's Middle Eastern headlines. But right now we're kind of testing the 50 MA on the 4-hour. So we will see what happens at the open this morning. But as of right now, it's kind of flirting with that 250 level. Got to get above 265. Remember on Tesla, what I'm looking for was the breakout 1, 2, 3, quad top. So triple tops usually don't happen, but you could see that right here was that level of rejection due to yesterday's headlines. But again, we're looking for right here. This is the money number, 289.54. If it doesn't happen this week, eventually it will happen probably this year. So just waiting to see the initial price action at the open, and we'll see if there's any bids or any more sales as we come in. Silver futures are up 0.80%. Copper is up 1%. Bitcoin is down now at 61,000. On the futures side, 2436 on Ethereum. That's down about 2.38% this morning. All right, NASDAQ really quickly. Let's look at it. Yeah, NASDAQ's holding up this trend line here, even though we've broken it twice. But so far, that 200 MA has been that level of support. We're looking for a break above 20,000. This right here, 19,994. That was that triple top that we were talking about. And then we finally broke out of it, retraced it. Remember yesterday's headlines? We bounced back from there. That was actually a really positive thing to see. We also had ADP numbers, private payrolls that actually beat. So right now, you can see pretty flat on NASDAQ, but most of the weakness is, again, on the Russell. The Dow relatively flat and the S&P as well. Yesterday was really just the semiconductors were hit. Apple was hit. Microsoft was hit. Google was green. Meta was green. I talked about that on the podcast yesterday if you guys haven't checked that out. So if you want a little more commentary on yesterday's action, make sure to take a look at the podcast under GAR Capital. Just search for that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Let's do this. Good morning. Good morning. VIX cup and handle on the 15-minute chart. Let's see it. I don't know about a cup and handle, but we did get a spike, obviously, yesterday. And you could see just kind of pulling back slightly. It's at 1935. Really, the level that I always look for in terms of the VIX is 20. 20 is kind of that line in the sand. It rejected 20 yesterday. You could see spike in September last year, spike in April this year, big time spike in July, and another spike in August. And here's your spike in October 1st. But you can see lower highs as we've been going along. But really, the level that we need to break for more downside is 1475 to see volatility goes down a little bit. But no, I don't see the head and shoulders that you speak of. My opinion on China stocks. Let's take a look at it. FXI. FXI is at 35. Again, this is the ETF, but it's a complete breakout. Not much more you could say there. Just difficult because you could see that 33, 38. Now we broke out of that daily, and you still got more to go to 42. Depending on where the weekly closes, if we can stay above 32.61, we're at 35 now. That 200-week moving average, that hasn't been broken or been above since, 2021. So this is great. This is a good move. Sometimes things get overbought, as we know. Manias do happen. Let's see how the week ends on FXI, the last thing, or any kind of China stock. Last thing I want to do is chase it, and then it reverses. These things happen. Gold to 3,000 by 2025. Yeah, depending on how many rate cuts we get. Why the hell not? Tesla broke out of the downward trend line on the monthly. Might be a retest of the trend line. Let's see it. Was it on the monthly? Yeah, we got to see. I think you're talking about this. Yeah. That flag and everything. You can see it's. Oh, this is FXI. Hello. Yeah, the downward channel. Really just looking to see if we can get above 280. That's kind of the move we're looking for. But if we're going to bring it down to shorter time frames, again, that deliveries number right now, the market's not cheering it. So I don't know if it missed or it beat because there's conflicting numbers or conflicting expectations. And that's kind of the tough part. But the stock is slipping. Yesterday's lows are 248.58. If we do break that, then it's pretty much a little more downside as we go. But again, the market's not open yet. We need full volume, and we'll see what we get. Unfortunately, I am holding calls here, and it's just pulling back. The goal was to get the run-up yesterday, but with the Iran-Israel headlines, I had to wait for this catalyst, unfortunately. Just double hit at this moment, especially with yesterday. That was very unexpected that the headline would come right around 9:30, right as the stock market opens. Let's see, NVIDIA. This is one that we posted on Instagram. We talked about, do we break out of this trend line or do we reject? The good news is that it's bouncing off the 100-day, the 50-day, and the 20-day, which are all pretty much converging together here. So the question remains, what is our level of support? What's the level to buy? If you're looking for a place to buy, if we get some weakness, $100 has been that level. Right around 100, that's kind of the support that's been holding. The question really to me is that it might just hold these MAs here. I'm kind of looking for 115. If with 115, say 115.24, that's the 20. If we can get back to there, I would actually like it for a bounce because the first 2 weeks of October are strong for the stock market. Yes, yesterday was ugly, but let's see if we tag 115.24. And the number that we're really looking for a breakout is 125. So if it gets her up there, then we can see what we could do. Oh, you're very welcome, Alex. FDX and CVS. Let's do it. FDX bouncing very nicely here on this beautiful trend line channel here. Still got a little more to the gap fill at 294. We're kind of moving higher now. So now that we got that initial move, 275.71. The problem I have in terms of trading FDX options is that the only time you get any kind of demand for these options will be on earnings. We don't have earnings right now. So we're just playing this upside gap. If it breaks 275.72, we're looking for 295. So about a $20 move. We just have to be vigilant in the options market, maybe a little further out expiries where we can possibly play that trade. The problem is just the options volume is non-existent. Micron puts on Monday. I was looking to short. That would have been a great short if I held with the headlines yesterday. There was absolutely no volume on puts. for Micron. It was very weird. So, just one of those things that you have an analysis, but if there's not the contracts to sell or to buy, then, or that's even worth buying, then you just have to move on. Let's see CVS. CVS, I believe, was up yesterday, but rejected. See this gap fill here? That's the one we're looking for, 66.98. So that's what we're looking for before we do anything here, because we'll have one more gap to fill. Nike yesterday reported. Remember that, guys? That is down. I thought it would move higher, but again, I didn't trade or anything. But you could see the 4-hour chart kind of holding that 200-day. Got close to the gap fill. You could see initially on that move from earnings, but we never filled. So still waiting game on Nike to finally prove to us that the trend is going to change for a bounce. Starbucks holding the 99s for Friday expiry. Yeah, you see consolidation here. Looks like it's setting up for more. Yeah, you're right at 100. The problem is, if it's for Friday expiry, you might get chopped up a little bit, but you do have the catalyst with the jobs report. Since this is a consumer discretionary, if more people are working, Starbucks is going to move higher. So this is more of a proxy bet on the jobs market being better than expected. The good news is that we had a pretty good ADP number. 100, I do believe, is coming on Starbucks. The problem is your expiry. It's Friday, this Friday. So let's see what happens. I hope it moves higher on a good NFP number, but I'll just say this. If there's high jobs number, Starbucks is going to break 100. If there isn't, then we'll see what happens after that. I can't really predict what the jobs number will be. Your guess is as good as mine. Also, port strike news could send it down on headlines. Absolutely. Yeah. Those port headlines, the strike. But again, pretty muted price action other than the Russell. And let's take a look at Apple. Oh, this one was tough to see. Bouncing right off the 20-day moving average. Down a little bit today. Let's see if we can break above 233.11. And if we do, we can do the 235 calls. Keep it really, really tight. Apple's going to break out, guys. Right now, it's just moving sideways. The only issue I have is that if this is resistance, that's all. And then we kind of get back to this level, this base here with this flag. Because remember, you had that bull flag and another one and then another one. So it's like higher highs, higher lows. I mean, higher lows, but still the same level of the highs here. So 214 would be, to me, your major support, at least on the short term here. But looks like you're going to be bouncing higher as long as this 20-day holds. So I do think that's going to be higher. I'm looking to go long if we break 233.11. BABA, do you see 200 coming? 200? Not anytime soon, no. If we can get above 125, yeah, we can start a little bit of talking higher. But listen, not to be the bearer of bad news or a wet blanket, you're just back to a level you haven't seen since 2022. And again, BABA has been pretty much dead money. Finally, it's moving, yes, but we need a lot more. And how much more stimulus can China do? We just have to wait and see. But again, look at this. Since what? 2022 of January, we've been stuck here. So until we break out of this sludge here, that's when we could talk about 200. Oh my goodness, that'd be great. But no, I wouldn't set your hopes up that high either. You would need a lot of things to go right for BABA to go to 200, in my opinion. And who knows when it comes to Chinese economic reporting or what's happening over there, because I don't. All right, guys, we'll go and leave it there. Have a great rest of your morning. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Remember, the blog is open for everyone and anyone. Just go to our website, www.gar.capital, and get access to the free plan. We'd love to see you there. Have a great rest of your morning. I will see you guys later on the server. And that's actually the channel I'll be on, as always, is Market Watch. That's where I give the play-by-play. All right, guys? Have a good one. Cheers all.